Opening slide graphic text title, 10 Things I Love About Carving Work Roles, with Lauren Mandel. Image of Lauren Mandel, text, Purpose Matters Conference, logos, Belonging Matters and Talks That Matter.net.
Hello everyone, such a pleasure to be here. So today I'll be sharing my top 10 tips about things that we've learned along the journey in terms of helping people to gain meaningful paid employment. So my name's Lauren and I'm the managing and founding director of the LMC Group. We just had our 4th birthday a few weeks ago. So we're a very small boutique service based in Melbourne. And we help support people with a disability to gain and maintain valued, active and meaningful roles in welcoming communities. So we do look across all areas of a person's life. And today we'll be zooming in on work because that's something that we absolutely love helping people achieve. And social role valorization is sort of one of the frameworks that we use to guide the work that we do. So supporting work roles. Very big thing that we love. Over here on the left, there's a whole lot of logos, and I'm really proud to say that we've worked with these workplaces, these businesses, as well as 30 other businesses to help create meaningful pathways, meaningful employment for people with a disability. And when we talk about work today, we're talking about full award wage. We're not talking about people being on subsidised wages. We're not talking about sheltered or segregated workshops. We're talking about real open employment that you or I could work at if we wanted to. All right. So we do use a concept called job carving, which is about sort of creating a new job, a new role for a person. Occasionally we have helped people find jobs through the open marketplace, but typically we are trying to work with the employer to match the role to the person's interests, skill sets and needs. We're going to jump across now to another video. This is Rachel's video. She works at Chapel off Chapel.
Opening slide graphic text title, Rach Works Front of House, with Rochelle Napar image of Rochelle, logos, Talks That Matter, Belonging Matters, City of Stonington, Chapel off Chapel. Chapel off Chapel foyer. Man walks from behind bar. Rach walks from behind bar, carrying bouquet of flowers. Rach climbs stairs backstage and knocks on dressing room door. Peter.
Come in.
Rach.
Hi, this is for you.
Oh, hi. Thank you.
You're
That is
welcome.
very kind. Thank you so
It's
much.
all right.
Thank you. It's very lovely.
Enjoy the show.
Thank you.
Letitia Carney, front of house supervisor, Chapel off Chapel.
Rach is one of our front of house officers here at Chapel off Chapel. So she is part of the box office delivery and our bar service and ushering. And she's a great fit because she really fits in well with the personalities that we have here. She's warm, she's gregarious.
Rach arrives for work.
Rachel's attitude towards her work when she comes in here to work a shift at Chapel is it's always positive. She comes in ready.
Rach attends her locker.
And excited to work and excited to greet our customers and be that sort of presence in the foyer and behind the box office.
Rach serves a patron in the box office.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thank you. I'm just picking up tickets for, it's under Amanda Littlewood.
Yes.
Just for Woolaboola. Yep. Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thanks very much.
Welcome.
Some of Rachel's roles here in her position as front of house officer, she looks after, I guess, the appearance of our foyers.
Rach wipes tables and vacuums in the foyer.
She keeps things tidy and presentable. She also helps us run items backstage to artists, helps us keep our seating banks kind of neat and tidy, and on occasion also does some ushering.
Rach prepares tickets in the box office.
My working relationship with Rach, I think it's great. We really get along like a house on fire.
Rach and Letitia cleaning the bar.
How's the show going?
Getting there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I heard you're working with TheatreWorks.
Yes.
So exciting!
Photos of Rach rehearsing her own production.
I heard they're helping you write songs for it.
Yeah, it's gonna be something.
And you're going to sing?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it's so exciting. Sounds like it's come a long way from when we did the reading.
Yeah.
Rachel's relationship with the other staff members here is super positive.
Rach works on a desktop computer in the box office.
I think she has different kind of dynamics with a few different key people that she works with more frequently. And again, she just brings that kind of that positivity and that enthusiasm, which sometimes it's easy to forget to bring to work with you.
Rach and Letitia procure cleaning supplies.
And I think she reinforces that for everyone and puts the joy back into what we're doing.
Rach enters foyer with theatre keys. Letitia.
Awesome! Come back through. Mate, hang on to those today. They can be yours today. You can pop them around your neck if you need.
I'm good.
Chapel Off Chapel's approach to inclusive employment is really just that. We like to engage and work with a really diverse bunch of people.
Rach works on a desktop computer alongside other staff.
I'm really proud of the team that we have here, and I think that it represents, a wide section of the community. My advice to other businesses looking to hire someone with a disability is really just to go for it. I think you have a role that needs to be filled, and provided the person has the skills and the attitude and the desire to do that role, there's nothing really stopping you. So I think, go for it.
Rach, Letitia, and other staff pose for a photo in the box office. Closing slide graphic text with thanks to Rochelle Napastak, Letitia Carney, Kate Crowley, Emma Telford, Bridget Bantick, Peter Ritchie, the City of Stonington, Jessica Glaser, the LMC Group, and Osher Marks, voice artist. This video was made possible with the support of an information and capacity building grant through the Department of Social Services, produced by Belonging Matters. Belonging Matters makes every effort to provide accurate and up-to-date material. However, information is subject to change, and our materials for reference only. This video was filmed on the lands of the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung peoples of the Eastern Kulin Nation. Logos Belonging Matters, talks that matter.
I had such a beautiful morning watching some of these videos, and I feel very honoured that we at the LMC Group have been a part of the journey of Harvey, who works at the Waves Pool, Spee, who works at the Australian Open, and Rach, who works at Chapel Off Chapel. So to see these videos is sort of a culmination of all the work that we've done over the last 4 years, and now I'm going to sort of jump right in and share some of our little tips that have helped bring about these beautiful work roles. So one of the first things that I'd like to talk about is the importance of focusing on the individual. We're talking about one person at a time. So we're talking about Harvey, we're talking about Spee, we're talking about Rachel as individuals rather than helping people with a disability. We're talking about the person. So we start with each individual and we start to understand what it is that they love, what it is that they're good at, what it is that they enjoy. So for Harvey, it was very obvious early on when I first met him. He was all about swimming and working at the gym, showed me his guns. Spee, who I've known for a very long time, has journeyed through the tennis world, and Rachel, just all she wanted to do was be on stage in the theatre. So we nut out we get an understanding of what the person's interest is, and we do what's called a power of 10 brainstorm. And so we start to map out all the different roles that someone could have related to that interest. So on this picture, we've got the interest cooking, and we've mapped out a whole lot of different roles that someone could have connected to this interest. And then we start to work with the person to identify what roles may be suitable for them. And And again, each person's, choice of roles may be quite different because it's really about understanding the person, what's going to be best for them. And the reason why we talk about the person's interests is that it then creates authenticity. So it means that when they're able to go to a workplace, so when Svi goes to the Australian Open, he can talk to all the other people who work there, all the customers and the spectators, and talk about tennis from his heart. He knows it, and we really see that in the video. So my next tip is about holding vision. And one of the earlier presentations really delved deep into this. But we've got a picture here of zooming into the sky. And I really do believe that the sky is the limit. So we want to, first of all, understand what it is that we're aiming for, ground ourselves in a shared vision and a belief that all people with a disability can work and that they should work. And if you're sort of feeling like you're not sure how you feel about that vision, or perhaps when I first started out in my journey in working in this space, I'd only worked in day programs or group homes. So my understanding of what was possible was quite limited. And I'm so grateful to Deb and Belonging Matters for kind of helping me see what was possible. And so coming to conferences, there's videos, there's podcasts, there's webinars and books, and there's so many resources out there that Belonging Matters provides to us in Melbourne. And then there's, resources that you can tap into around Australia, around the world, but really invest time into understanding and seeing what other people do, because that might then shift into what you could do for yourself or your loved one or the person that you're working with. And hold high standards, don't settle. So the next point is around creating networks. So we've got an image here of an interweb, all these little lines interconnected. So this is about using social connections. It's about tapping into not what you know, but who you know. And this is a tricky one because we know that for a lot of people with disability, they may not have strong connections. And for me personally, my background social work, I don't actually know much about the tennis world or the theatre world or the sports and aquatic world or transport or floristry, which is some other industries that we've helped people connect into. And that's okay because then the onus is on us is to know about community and where to find people who know about these things. So it's okay if in your immediate circle you don't have friends and family who are that you can call upon. And so what we often do is we reach out and we try to make the networks ourselves. So you can use your social capital, use people that you know. I remember Svi trying to get him a job at Tennis Australia, and he knew people who already worked there. So that was one of the first things that we did for him. For Harvey, we didn't know anyone in that sports and aquatic sector, so we had to go out and find people. Meet in person. Unfortunately, during COVID, that was quite tricky to do, but meeting over a cup of tea, over a cup of coffee, and just being really curious. So that kind of taps into the presentation earlier about information interviewing. I just think it's about being really curious about the industry, the workplace, and just try to get as much information as you can from the relevant people that you're meeting with. So we actually call it a network meeting, and we try as best as possible to come prepared. And often the person that we're supporting will come with us. So I remember Harvey and I went out to meet with his personal trainer. It was one of the first things we did when we helped Harvey along his journey. And we met, I think his name was Chris. We met at the gym. Harvey and I spent time beforehand writing out all these questions. Got there, Harvey read them out beautifully. I did all the writing, and we learned so much about that industry that I had no idea about. But it's really important to come prepared and also do a follow-up message as well. And one of the things that we love to do now as well is once we've created a network, we might even touch base a year later and send a photo to tell that person how the individual is tracking in their journey. All right. I've called this the magic question. But anytime I'm speaking to someone, whether it be a friend or a network or an employee, I do try to drop this question, often verbally, or I might put it in writing. But rather than sort of trying to hit people up straight with it, will you give so-and-so a job? We're going to invite people to play another role. We're going to sort of play into the idea that everyone does inherently want to help people and everyone is caring and kind. And so while someone may not be able to offer you a job, they may have another network that they can hook you up with. So maybe it's that one person in the theatre world knew someone else in the theatre world that they could connect us to, or an opportunity. So you may not have an opportunity, but do you have any ideas or other opportunities that could help us along the journey? And they might say, oh, actually, yes, I did hear that this other theatre down the road is looking to employ someone. Or did you know that there's this not-for-profit theatre that has volunteers who help out? Maybe you could try that. So the question of do you have any contacts, opportunities or ideas has been really vital in helping us open work opportunities for people. And it's not threatening. You're not asking them to employ you, but you're giving them the opportunity to help you in another way. So I found that to be really quite effective. The other, number 5, is around, we want this to be double-sided or mutually beneficial. So we're not selling a charity case here. We're never going up, and begging for a job, saying, please, you have to give this poor person a job. We're really going in and we are saying, hey, Tennis Australia, we know this guy's fee. He's worked in tennis his whole life and he's super passionate about tennis and he's really good. We think he'd be perfect for you. And Tennis Australia, we know that you actually have quite a big policy on diversity and inclusion. And hey, Dylan Alcott, remember him? He's doing all this great work around inclusion. So we think, and we know that you have a lot of work to be done at the Australian Open. So we actually think this would be a great match for you and for SFE. So we're never going to talk about a group of people with a disability. We're always sort of pitching one person to one specific role. And often I'll say, we work with 30 other people and I'm not here today to talk about the other 29. I'm specifically here to talk about this person. All right. And job carving. Sorry, I missed a point. Job carving can be really helpful here. So this is about identifying roles that someone else may be doing in the workplace. So particularly a manager or someone who's sort of paid at a higher level, they may be doing some sort of mundane tasks or other work that is taking up a lot of their precious time that could be spent doing something else. So you almost carve off a little piece of their role, carve off a little piece of another person's role, and you start to build a job specifically for the person that you're supporting or your loved one. And that the job that they may have should ideally be based on their strengths as well. So it's something that they're able to do really competently. Number 6 is about being personal and being personable. So we don't ever talk about helping groups of people with a disability. It really is, as I said before, about one person at a time. And we also go in to employers and we try to be really kind and really encouraging in our approach. We want to work collaboratively with you. We're not going in and hitting them up with a heavy rights-based argument where we're saying it's disability discrimination or you must employ people with a disability. That's not really the way that we want to do. We want to sort of tap into the belief that people do care and people are kind and do want to help. And so we want to show respect and walk through the journey collaboratively with workplaces. And again, just emphasising that point that I said earlier, we go in and we say we're talking about Harvey and we're contacting the Waves Leisure Centre. We really name it and we're very specific. So here, number 7, we've got a picture of some bricks. And this makes me think back to early in my career as a social worker. My dad always told me, Lauren, it's about building up the layers. One role or one opportunity at a time, you're building. And that's kind of, taking the journey approach, building someone's career. And so it's okay to start with a volunteer role or an internship or a work experience. We do try to keep particularly internships or work experience quite time limited. But I think back in my career and I had to do, student placements and things like that. So that's quite typical in some ways, but we don't want people to be stuck in those roles forever. We do want to see some kind of progression, but often small little roles can open up to big roles. And so I think back to Rach, and she did a 6-week internship at Chapel Off Chapel about 4 years ago, and then a year later they had a job opening and they knew her, they loved her, and they called us up and said, make sure Rach applies for this. So it was through her little internship that she then was able to apply and land her dream paid job. And then that paid job opened up an opportunity to get paid work at other theatres. So there was a stage where Rach was also working at the National Theatre and at the Malthouse Theatre, which is quite amazing. So it's, as I said, it's like the layers in the house and we want to keep adding to it and we do want to see people progress. Number 8 is about role goals. And we want to think about the job in terms of valued social roles. So what imagery is, how does someone need to look for a particular role? For Svi, it was really important when he turns up to his job that he's got his uniform, and that he, had his lanyard. And in terms of competency, we're thinking about the skills and the talents that someone is required to have in a workplace. So for Harvey, working in an aquatic centre, he needed his first aid course. That was something we found out really early on. And so about 6 months was spent just helping support Harvey along that journey to getting his first aid certificate. And now he's a champion. He can do CPR better than I can. And I think he's done his refresher course four times now. For Rach to work in theatre, she needed to get her RSA certificate. Same kind of thing. So we need to understand what skills are expected in a workplace. And once we've got someone a role, we want to keep going and going. We don't want them to be stagnant. We want them, like in this picture, to keep adding the layers, keep moving up. Svi, in one of his other paid work, got a job promotion, got a new title. We've had people take on the role of host in a workplace and hosting and morning tea, or running the footy tipping competition, or becoming a really great co-worker. Harvey's known for bringing in cake to his workplace. And Rach often goes to the theatre with some of her co-workers. So we just want to start to then think about, not just about the person being an employee, but what are other roles that they could have in that particular work setting. Cold contacting in a warm way. So one thing that we do is we create a list of all the potential workplaces that might be suitable for someone, order them in priority. So we wrote a list of all the theatres in Melbourne, put them in priority based on where they were at, and then we'd contact them one by one in a really kind way, looking to meet and learn more about the industry. Ideal work conditions, really, really important. We understand what is going to be optimum for the person with the disability in terms of the time, the frequency, the location, where they are best going to be suited to work. And we want to hold that working condition. A lot of those conditions are non-negotiable. If we do steer off track, we're probably likely to set someone up to fail. So don't be desperate. Make sure you're setting the person up to succeed. We've gone off track before and it's been a disaster. So we really want to honour those core key requirements that are going to make the person really succeed. One more for good luck. Have a point of contact. So often we act as the point of contact, the ally or the supporter on behalf of the person with the disability, and we want a person in the workplace that we can contact too. And that way, if there are any small issues that come up, we sort of nip them on the butt before they get too big. We want to do regular sort of casual check-ins, not too formal, and just be proactive rather than reactive. We don't want to let things get out of control. So that's kind of what we've learnt about helping people get work roles. And what we love is how transformative they've been. We've really seen people, who have moved from full-time in day programs to out in the open employment space, and they're thriving. They have an income, they have beautiful work relationships with co-workers, they're learning, they're contributing, and it's really just endless. Like the picture, we've got a love heart with the sky. And so we just want to see more and more people enter into this beautiful, lovely, forever growing world.
Closing slide graphic text with thanks to Lauren Manedel, Crowd Comms Purpose Matters Conference 2022. This video was made possible with the support of an information and capacity building grant through the Department of Social Services, produced by Belonging Matters. Belonging Matters makes every effort to provide accurate and up-to-date material. However, information is subject to change, and are materials for reference only. This video was filmed on the land of the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung peoples of the Eastern Kulin Nation. Logos, Belonging Matters, talksthatmatter.net.
Graphic text. More Purpose Matters conference videos. To watch more videos from the Purpose Matters conference, please head to free videos on the Talks That Matter website, talksthatmatter.net. Logos, Belonging Matters, Talks That Matter.